This is Daily News Brief, quick, clear, and current. Hit like and subscribe for more news that matters. Here are the top highlights making headlines in the news today. NATO allies held Article 4 consultations after Russian drone incursion. Here's what that means. Jimmy Kimmel reacts to Charlie Kirk's shooting death. Instead of angry finger pointing, can we just for one day agree that it is horrible and monstrous to shoot another human? Dowd on MSNBC wonders if Charlie Kirk shooting may have been supporters shooting their gun off in celebration. The party is over, as European carmakers face tariffs and a price war in China. The race back to the moon. What if China lands its astronauts first? Burning Man festival sparks outrage after troubling video surfaces from desert. Isn't that completely against the whole idea? Israel will kill Hamas leaders next time if they survived Qatar attack, Israeli official says. Neighborhood outraged by new mural erected on side of beloved Mexican restaurant. It's insidious. Researchers issue warning after discovering concerning pattern along U.S. coastline. Something is going on, and it is real. Michigan judge tosses case against 15 accused fake electors for President Donald Trump in 2020. Amy Coney Barrett gives least reassuring answer on Trump third term. The teenager is reportedly moving in at the White House. Senate Republicans barely defeat effort by Democrats to force release of Epstein files. Officials raise red flags as once massive lake is on brink of collapse. Here's what's happening. West Allis woman charged with homicide in crash that killed 2 Marquette lacrosse players. Democratic senator warns colleagues of distorted system if college sports bill passes. Stay tuned as we break down the stories behind these headlines. North Atlantic Treaty Organization allies held discussions after Russian drones entered Polish airspace.
This airspace is also North Atlantic Treaty Organization airspace.
Polish and Dutch fighter jets shot down some of the drones.
These consultations fell under Article 4 of the North Atlantic Treaty Organization Treaty.
Article 4 allows any member to raise security concerns.
This article promotes coordination and understanding within the alliance.
Poland has invoked this article before, as have other allies.
Article 4 does not automatically lead to action under Article 5.
Charlie Kirk was fatally shot at a rally at Utah State University.
Jimmy Kimmel responded to the shooting with a message of sympathy.
He called the act horrible and monstrous.
Kimmel also sent love to Kirk's family and other victims of gun violence.
Kirk co-founded Turning Point USA, a group that supported Donald Trump.
Video shows Kirk speaking at the event before being shot.
Trump announced Kirk's death on Truth Social.
The Federal Bureau of Investigation has a suspect in custody.
Dowd speculated about the circumstances of Charlie Kirk's shooting.
Dowd questioned if a supporter might have accidentally discharged a firearm in celebration.
He noted on MSNBC that the full details were not yet available.
Dowd also described Kirk as a divisive figure who often used hateful rhetoric.
He connected hateful thoughts to hateful words and ultimately hateful actions.
Kirk was shot during a question and answer session at Utah Valley University.
Later, MSNBC President Rebecca Cutler issued an apology for Dowd's comments.
She called his statements inappropriate, insensitive, and unacceptable.
European carmakers are facing declining prices and profits in China.
Demand is also weak in Europe, and United States tariffs create uncertainty.
This is forcing a focus on cost cutting as the global market changes.
The industry is under pressure to transition to electric vehicles.
Tough 2035 targets in Europe are challenging for many companies to meet.
Chinese electric vehicle rivals are gaining ground with lower cost models.
European automakers plan to launch 350 new electric vehicles by 2032.
They face intense competition and need faster product development to compete.
The United States and China are competing to land astronauts on the moon.
National Aeronautics and Space Administration plans a crewed lunar landing by 2027 with its Artemis program.
China aims to achieve a crewed lunar landing before 2030.
Experts warn that the United States risks losing this new moon race.
Concerns exist about the development pace of SpaceX Starship, the planned Artemis 3 lunar lander.
If China lands first, it could have significant geopolitical implications for the United States.
China could strengthen its international partnerships and influence.
Access to lunar resources, like water ice, is another key factor in this competition.
A video of a private jet landing at Burning Man has sparked controversy.
Many feel it contradicts the festival's stated environmental principles.
Burning Man co-founder Larry Harvey established 10 principles, including leaving no trace.
This principle emphasizes respecting the environment and minimizing impact.
Private air travel, however, is a significant source of pollution.
Studies indicate private flights produce considerably more pollution per passenger than commercial flights.
This is not the first time Burning Man has faced environmental criticism.
In 2003, the festival was accused of greenwashing and failing to meet its environmental commitments.
Israel conducted an airstrike in Doha, Qatar, targeting Hamas leaders.
The Israeli ambassador to the United States stated that Israel would continue to pursue and eliminate terrorists.
The United Nations Security Council meeting was postponed to allow Qatar's prime minister to attend.
Israel also conducted airstrikes in Yemen, targeting Houthi military facilities.
A new mural in Toronto is causing controversy due to its use of artificial intelligence.
The restaurant has previously commissioned human artists.
This design, however, is artificially generated.
Some residents appreciate the mural's vibrancy.
Others question the restaurant's authenticity.
One local artist stated that artificial intelligence is not art, but an algorithm that steals from other artists.
Artificial intelligence also uses significant amounts of fresh water for cooling data centers.
Increased demand for artificial intelligence will exacerbate water consumption issues.
Atlantic striped bass populations are declining, causing concern among researchers.
Despite a seemingly successful fishing season last fall, fewer bass are returning to bays to spawn.
This decline coincides with a similar trend in menhaden, a primary food source for striped bass.
Researchers suspect a phenological mismatch, where changing environmental conditions disrupt seasonal cycles.
This mismatch can impact interconnected species, similar to the monarch butterfly's struggle due to changing migration patterns.
If the bass and menhaden populations continue to decline, it could have cascading effects on the entire ecosystem.
While this phenomenon is well documented on land, marine research is still in its early stages.
Mitigating climate change through sustainable practices is crucial to addressing this issue.
A Michigan judge dismissed charges against 15 Republicans accused of falsely certifying Donald Trump as the winner of the 2020 election.
The judge stated she saw no intent to commit fraud.
She believed they were exercising their right to seek redress.
The defendants, including prominent Michigan Republican Party members, faced forgery and conspiracy charges.
Attorney General Dana Nessel expressed disappointment, calling it a very wrong decision.
She said the group knew Donald Trump lost the election but lied anyway.
Nessel is considering an appeal.
The judge emphasized the case was about intent, not election interference.
Justice Amy Coney Barrett recently responded to questions about President Trump and a potential third term.
Her initial response to Fox News, referencing the 22nd Amendment, seemed to leave room for interpretation.
This caused concern among some observers, including Governor Gavin Newsom.
Later, on CBS, Justice Barrett clarified her position.
She explicitly stated the 22nd Amendment sets a two-term limit for presidents.
She emphasized she could only point to the amendment when asked about presidential term limits.
President Trump himself has offered conflicting statements on the matter.
He has both suggested methods for a third term and stated he would be a two-term president.
The first daughter is moving into the White House.
She will be attending college in Washington, District of Columbia.
This move marks a return to tradition.
Presidential children often reside at the White House during their college years.
The White House has declined to comment on the living arrangements.
However, sources indicate she will occupy a bedroom on the third floor.
This floor traditionally houses the first family.
It offers significant privacy and convenience.
Senate Republicans narrowly defeated a Democratic effort to release the Jeffrey Epstein case files.
The vote on the amendment to the Defense Authorization Bill was 51 to 49.
2 Republican senators joined Democrats in supporting the release.
Democrats have repeatedly pushed for transparency on this issue.
Democrats argue that the public has a right to know the contents of the Epstein files.
Republican leadership resisted, calling it political gamesmanship.
They assert the Justice Department has already released sufficient information.
However, some Republicans and victims remain unsatisfied with the level of disclosure.
Lake Urmia, once the Middle East's largest lake, has shrunk to record lows.
From 2020 to 2025, the lake has drastically declined in size.
Human factors and rising global temperatures contribute to this crisis.
Overuse of resources for agriculture also plays a significant role.
The declining water level impacts the local ecosystem and human health.
The Iranian government has initiated water transfer projects to restore the lake.
The United Nations is also supporting conservation efforts in the area. Amandrea Brunner faces homicide charges after a crash that killed 2 Marquette University lacrosse players.
She was driving with a blood alcohol level nearly twice the legal limit.
The crash occurred when Brunner attempted a left turn on a yellow light, colliding with the Jeep carrying the lacrosse team.
2 players, Scott Michaud and Noah Snyder, died from their injuries.
Data shows Brunner did not brake before the collision.
The Jeep was traveling significantly over the speed limit.
Brunner had a prior conviction for driving while intoxicated.
She is currently being held on a substantial cash bail.
Senator Maria Cantwell cautioned colleagues about a House bill regulating college sports.
She believes it will widen the gap between major and smaller athletic conferences.
The bill, supported by the National Collegiate Athletic Association and top conferences, offers limited antitrust exemption.
It would also create a national standard for player compensation, overriding state laws.
Senator Cantwell argues this favors the Big Ten and Southeastern conferences.
She warns it will escalate the financial arms race, hurting smaller schools and athletes.
The bill has bipartisan support in the House but faces a tougher challenge in the Senate.
A report by Senator Cantwell highlights the growing financial disparity between major and other conferences.
Thank you for listening. Stay informed, stay aware, and join us again for more updates that matter. Until next time.